Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. This is Dave Sharpe, and this morning we have another unique and exciting guest. Somebody who's a student, a client, as always. That's what's different about this show, is instead of interviewing gurus and goblins and just having who knows all these podcasts with all these these big gurus. I want to hear from people who just got started. I want to hear from people who are brand new, not people who, you know, they've been in the game for 50 years. And, I want to know what it's like to be fresh, to get, because why? The majority of people who are seeking businesses and additional income are inexperienced in doing it. So what more what can we do that would be more authentic and relatable to you listening than to have people who are brand new and just getting started, recently going through our education and got things up and cranking. So this morning we're going to be welcoming Mr. Jonathan, all the way from the United Kingdom. Jonathan McCrindle. Let's see if I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me. Yeah, no, you pronounced that perfectly well.
Okay. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, what it was like before you came online, found us, started building your business. What happened?
Right.
How did you find Legendary, and a little bit about what you're doing now? Give us the nutshell version.
Okay. So I'm a pharmacist by profession, and we're a family of five. So I'm the sole breadwinner, working between 70 and 78 hours a week to support my family.
Hmm.
And I found that I'm spending more time working than actually spending time with the family. And children are growing up, and I'm missing a lot of that. So I decided I needed to find an alternative. Spending one evening, as most of us do, flipping through TikTok, and I came across one of your other students, affiliate Jen, and clicked on her link, and she introduced me to Legendary. And the journey after that has been absolutely amazing. Um, I've learned so much. Um, what you guys teach is that's the big thing, is there's somebody holding your hand all the way. You can ask questions to a community. You can go on, and I've contacted Drew. I've contacted Matt. I watch the trainings every week, sometimes live. If I can't make a live training, I watch the replay. I watch these shows. So that's my story in a nutshell.
My mic is muted, not Mike. I got a little dyslexic there. So congratulations on your journey and wanting more and going for more. You can lead a horse to water, but he ultimately has to drink. And so I also, as I was listening to you, knowing that you've done a significant amount of school, I mean, at least it takes a master's degree to be a pharmacist. Am I right? Damn near a doctorate. I would assume additional certifications and things of that nature, I would assume. Um, how different is this educational experience, and what would you say about it versus your traditional education experience?
I think from here it gives you the practical ability. I mean, you when you're a pharmacist, you go to university, you study, you learn your trade, which I'm still passionate about and I enjoy doing. But the thing is, you only develop that trade as time goes on. Now, I think there's a bit of the same here. We develop as we go along. But what's so lovely about here is there's so much hands-on. So somebody's actually literally showing you how to do it and how to get going fast. And
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. If I compare myself to now and nearly just under 30 years ago when I first qualified, I'm a totally different pharmacist now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's the same with Legendary, but or whatever a field we go into. But it was the opportunity to be able to learn something quickly that can actually provide?
let me say this as well, because a lot of times when you get involved in some sort of a program or you're learning a business or something of that nature, right? You invest in yourself by buying that, and you want to get a result. Your expectation is that you're going to be successful with that business. Similarly, if you go to university, your expectation is that you're going to get out of that, you're going to graduate, and then you're going to get a job in that field. It's going to be high paying, and you're going to have a successful life. The tragedy and unfortunate part, I think, about traditional education, if you don't specialize like you did, is that a lot of times it is rather useless. In my opinion, it's rather tremendously more expensive than a course like this, even our blueprints at $2,500. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people who don't graduate and work in their field, and they end up going back to the restaurant business or whatever else because maybe they can't find a job. So now we also, we also talk about online business in the fact that when you so what do people do? And then eventually maybe a pandemic hits, they get called non-essential, whatever. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. And now they're on their phone at home scrolling through God knows what, looking for something. And when you invest in that something, you expect it to work. And one of the things that I think is different, I'm not just sitting here trying to lead questions, toot my own horn. I actually believe in what we're doing here, that the reason why we have so many successful people in this community is because it's a matter of the right information from the right people in the right environment. And the right environment is very important, because the place a person is going to thrive to their fullest extent, if you look in any culture, it's within a tribe or a group. And without community, you trying to do something on your own, you're going to be unsuccessful. So the magic of Legendary, I think, and again, I'm happy to be, we're live. You could say whatever the hell you want. You could say Legendary
No,
sucks.
no, I
But
agree with you.
watch. This is my opinion. I
Yeah.
think when somebody comes in, they go through the education, they go through our process, which is set up specifically to offer support but not be smothering. Um, then they spit you out into the community, and you actually become a part of this tribe or community in which you can look and watch at other people who are older or just been doing it for longer. And that process is really powerful in teaching a person a skill, rather than what a lot of times these programs have: unqualified facilitators or teachers, and or no support community. Do you agree with all that?
Yeah, I agree there because what I found really important. Another one of I don't well, they're not a mentor, but somebody I follow is Andrea, and I listen to all his trainings. I go and I watch him. I watch everything he does. I watch quite a few other of our students who are more advanced. Um, and something else I do is I watch the leaderboard when you post that, and I see that how well people are doing. I go and watch and see what they're doing. I try and find out what they're doing on TikTok. I try and find out what they're doing on other platforms, and that way I learn to be able to do what they are doing. So
Hmm.
it's the copy that's the big advantage I think we have. It's the
Yeah.
copy we're able to copy people.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just speak in plain language, I mean, that's ultimately what you can do. And ultimately, if we speak about human behavior and how people learn the fastest, they do look at the older people in their tribe or their family or their community, and they learn from them first by copying them. I mean, if we're honest about, just cutting right through the bullshit, yeah, I mean, people who are young in the game, they get started by copying other people. And then the hope is that you find your own voice and your own message, and you embrace your own personality, or you create your character. Some people are a little bit more vibrant on camera than in real life. It's a job, it's a performance in a sense. I mean, if you're creating content, your part of your job title is to, you know, make it both entertaining as well as educational. And you always want to keep that in mind. But how has it gone from being somebody who was a pharmacist pretty much behind the only cameras you were ever on probably was security cameras,
Yeah.
to now going and doing something way outside of your comfort zone?
Well, it was. It was really difficult when I first started with TikTok, because that's where I started. I was very self-conscious. Who's going to see me? What's going to happen? You know, what response I'll get. Um, and I just decided at the end of the day, I had to think to myself, why am I doing this? And that was what was the important. It's always the why. And it didn't matter at the end when I finally started on TikTok what anybody thought of me. I thought to myself, it doesn't matter. And you know, when you start getting the first couple of followers and things start to climb,
Hmm.
it's just it just builds your confidence.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. There were times when you're actually hit a low and you think, when's things going to start happening or whatever. Um, and what gave me the push too, if I can tell any new people, when you're standing there in the beginning and things aren't really getting going and they're not happening, let me tell you something. I was sick for 7 days. I was out of it. I
Mm,
couldn't do a thing. Came back to my TikTok account and it grew by 400 people while I did nothing.
mm,
And then recently, not so long ago, I had a TikTok video that went viral,
mhm,
absolutely viral.
mm.
From time to time, I don't even do anything for 2 to 3 days. It just skyrockets with followers. It just keeps more followers just keep coming. So something to remember is whatever you put on there can be watched so far later that you won't
Yeah.
even know. And that's that. And that's enabled me from working what I was. I'm down to 3 days a week now.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here. How do
Yeah.
you wow.
I work a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday.
That's the punchline right there. I mean, there's the hope for anybody who is looking
Yeah.
for that hope shot.
Yeah. And that's all I can say is doesn't matter how tough it is, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because when the light bulb goes on, that's I call it the light bulb moment. When it happened, it just everything just fell into place.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's really something. To be able to sit here. How long has that taken?
I started with Legendary in May. I
Yeah,
took 2 months still twiddling my thumbs and thinking about it. So
very
I only
common.
really started in July,
Mm,
and that's since July.
that's about exactly 6 months.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, how it's a question that I think is worth asking. If you've landed here and all the stars are aligning for you saying jump in and get started, um, you know, what what do you have to lose? I mean, and what do you have to gain? It's just
Yeah.
what it's almost like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you just in so many of us come in and do take multiple months. And you know what's even more sad is that there's thousands of people who sign and I'm only speaking of our data, so I can't speak about other courses or things that people buy out there. I'm just speaking about the data that we track, which is on the purchase of our own learning programs and courses. There's a lot of people who buy it and don't even log in.
Mm,
I mean, they just buy it and they don't even log in and actually start it, let alone finish it. And I'm telling you, people want to build a successful business, and we say, okay, we've got a 15-day challenge. Can you do something for 15 days? And you know what, Jonathan? There's a large, I don't remember, I think it's a majority, but I can't remember. Maybe it's not a majority. I really can't remember what the number is, but it is a shit pile of people who buy and don't even log in. And then what you're saying is the opposite of that is actually, hey, go at your own pace, but finish, start, and then give yourself 6 to 12 months.
yeah.
And you may also experience a similar breakthrough as somebody who's gone from working 80 hours a week to now down to
I
30
think I
days?
think what people, and I was doing that while I was working those hours. So remember, I started while I was working those hours. I took a couple of hours every day, and I did. And the best thing you can do is make a schedule. Say, this is what I will do. I get up at 6 in the morning. From 6 to 8, I did my research on various things that I was going to do. Then, round about 12, 1 o'clock during the day, I actually posted a few videos. Then, round about in the evening, get home at about 10, 10:30, I posted a few videos.
Huh.
So it was a schedule I followed, and I've followed it religiously every single day.
Well, I'll tell you what. Um, you know, everything here is lined up to get you on a schedule and on a routine. It's moving through consistently, getting chunks of education spoon fed to you at the beginning to get you
Yeah, if I can just
used
come
to
in
it.
there, Dave, is that the training with Matt every week, the live training he does, and we all come on
For
there, and
blueprints on
yeah,
Thursday at
and
3 o'clock. Yeah.
we can ask him questions and things. I mean, my TikTok at one stage, I was going through a bit of a down stage, and I thought to myself, is something going to happen? And Matt just looked at it for me and gave me a few advising topics, and I changed the way I was doing things, and then just suddenly it changed. The whole account just moved, and it's having that was amazing. It's just having somebody just having a quick look at it for you. Um, I've got Alvaro as my business consultant. He was great because I went to him first, and I said to him, "What do I do?" And he said,
Yeah.
"Speak to Matt."
Yeah.
And then he said to me, "Why don't you chat to Drew?" And I said to Drew, and I had a session with Drew, and we set up a few things. And that's the nice thing, is you have the support. But
Yeah.
you can ask somebody, what am I doing wrong, or what do you think I'm not doing the right
Yeah.
way?
Let me drop a little secret right here on everybody who's listening, is that we hear a lot of negative stories and excuses from a lot of people, and that's okay. If you have excuses right now and you have reasons why you can't, jump in full throttle, okay. We're not here to shame you and make you feel bad about that. We're just saying be honest with where you're at, right? Because you're either in or you're out. You can't be half-ass with your goals. You're not going to, if it's passive, it's a hobby. You'll get to it when you get to it. Eventually, it's the Peloton or the exercise bicycle out in the garage, and it's got laundry hanging all over it. That's what happens to things that are just done with no intention. But if the other side of that is person after person after person, Jonathan, says the same thing. Man, the actual coaching, the organized, now it's organized chaos, but it's organized, right? In a way that we've got coaching on an ongoing basis. And the people who say, I use that, the Thursday calls with Matt, I used that. I was having a little bit of a downturn in my business, and I hopped on a call and I asked a question, and we even tell you and show you how to ask questions. We even teach you how to ask questions so you can actually get the support that you need. Okay? We cover all of that in Decade in a Day and get you, because a lot
Uh,
of times
Take it in a day blew my mind.
yeah,
It totally blew my mind. I had to go and speak to Drew afterwards, because there's just so much information that you give that my
yeah,
mind was mush afterwards. So
yes,
it's just awesome. It's just so much information.
but the people who are successful, and I hear this time after time, this is a big nugget, folks, is that when they buy something, say for example, they enroll in our business blueprints program, and they use the simple, safe, non-threatening, not even difficult to use. I mean, you don't even have to do any work. It's not like going to the gym and you're lifting weights and you're moving heavy stuff around. It's just literally clicking from your phone or your computer onto a Zoom call and just opening your mouth and asking the questions. If you don't know how to ask a question, we show you exactly how to ask the question in a way that will help you to get the result that you want versus feeling unsupported. um that's a big that's a big for me, that's a big nugget, that's a big wake up call, right? Is because when I hear somebody who's using the tools, I start to see patterns, right? I start to see patterns amongst people on the show who I talk to who are successful, and they say, wow, I enrolled in the program and I actually show up to the coaching calls and ask questions. Hey, look, you can screenshot this and have this right here, right now. Because you know what? Here's the truth of the matter is, I don't even have a mindset of lack. I don't care if you want to take, if you want to, I hope you go through something and take it seriously. And if you got to come to this show, but you're going through a course somewhere else, but you tune in here because every morning we're dropping value and nuggets, and that's fine. You can take how to get what you want by asking better questions and getting better answers. Whether you enroll in our education or whether you go do something somewhere else, I want you to win. That's why we're doing this show 5 days a week, every morning, live, talking to students, dropping value. A lot of people minimize and underestimate what we're just delivering here from a value perspective every morning for free, because sometimes you don't pay attention to what you don't pay for. Jonathan, do you agree with that?
I agree. Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that we've got so much information available to us. That's now in the blueprints. But it's I just sometimes I have to go over it and over it and over again, and sometimes I go back to the 15-day and go through certain things again.
Yeah.
And when initially when I set up all my things like funnels and all that type of stuff, um, I did that with a coaching call with Drew, just because, as I say, decade in a day blew my mind. I couldn't do it afterwards. I couldn't put it together,
Mm.
and I have a recording of that. Do you know how many times I still watch it to this day when I'm
You know,
setting up a new funnel?
and people are, Jonathan, I think overall, I can remember when I had a lack of being willing to invest in myself.
Mm.
And now today, what I realize is I really don't have to think that hard very often. And because what I do is anywhere that I want to be good at something, I seek out the best people in the best environment to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
And I've learned that because as I get older, I don't have the energy that I used to have to just continue to run through brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. I had unlimited energy. I didn't have little kids I had to take care of. I had all the time in the world to sit around and just, scroll endlessly because I had no big responsibilities, and well, I had the rest of my life in front of me. But as I've gotten older, I need to ensure that if I spend my time doing something, I'm going to get a result with it. And so, that's why this is important, I think, because, we've had a world that has recently, in many cases, been deemed non-essential. Meaning, now, Jonathan, you were working as a pharmacist inside of a pharmacy. You were front line, baby,
yeah,
absolutely essential.
yeah,
But you know what? There was somebody who's just like you and just like me who did get told you're non-essential, you need to go home,
yeah,
right? We'll have the government send you a check. You know what I mean? And you know, if you want, if you want to take back the reins and you want to control your destiny and your future, uh, I mean, this morning is been a blueprint for how to do that if you listened closely. Because what I think is real special, this is when I think the biggest learning moments happen. It's not when you're thinking analytically. It's when you open your head, open your ears and your heart to listen to a message that is both inspirational, but also within that conversation are clues, actual pins, like GPS pinpoints to help you navigate how to be successful. And you laid it out right here this morning. You went through, you had some pain that you tapped into and you said, okay, I'm going to use this pain as motivation, whether you
yeah.
consciously did that or not.
No,
That
that
pain was pushing you. And then you were looking for a solution, scrolling a little bit, but open, okay, but
Yeah.
looking, right? And all of a sudden you found something, you found us, you got serious, you went through, you bought, you screwed around for a little bit, took your time at the beginning, but didn't leave, didn't abandon, and then went through the training, invested in yourself, followed up with a, the coaching calls that we do every Thursday,
Mm.
or an occasional coaching session with somebody like Drew on our team for $100. I don't know what we're even charging for those nowadays, but we should probably be charging twice as much as we are. They're probably, I don't know if they're 60, 100, 150, 200. I don't know, but let's call it 500 an hour, because I know it's not even close to 500 an hour, but let's call it 500 an hour. So now you've got 3,000 in, and you've got, you've got an 80-hour work week that you're trying to fix, and you start learning, doing, and teaching. Learn, do, teach. And within 6 months, you've gone from 80 hours per week down to 3 days. And if you look at the total investment of money and time, it's so much smaller than that traditional path. And I'm not here to bash traditional university and college, but I'm just here to say, let's compare apples to apples. It's it's the closest thing to an apple as you're going to get. We're doing unconventional learning, digitally delivered right to wherever you're at. You don't have to come to a classroom. We're not using old, updated material because it's not printed in books, so you don't have to use it beyond its expiration date just because you don't want to write a new book every 6 months. That makes sense to me. Of
Mm.
course, books were outdated. The world changes fast. So
Yeah.
now it's all digital material. We're talking about things live every morning together with a group of people as they happen. What's hot today? It's just a different ball game. If you look at all of the elements, the money investment, the time investment, what we're doing and teaching, it's to me, ultimately, I got to go with this route of education. It's hard for me nowadays to stand behind an 18-year-old kid unless they know exactly what they want to do, to go get in $50,000 worth of debt on a journey that they don't know where that destination is ultimately going to land them.
And I mean, I think, if you look at the initial investment we make, it's so minimal compared to the potential that you can make.
I think so. I mean, I know it feels like a big number. Like, people come and everybody's always got the same thing. It's like $7. You get into the challenge. What could go wrong? Look, I don't have a Starbucks coffee for the day or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they get up to see one of our more advanced programs, and I'm not saying everybody. I mean, there's a good percentage of people who say, you know what? Yeah, I want this. I deserve this. I'm doing this. There's a lot of people who also balk and in, oh, yeah, this, that, and it's like, just think about some of the shit you've spent money on in your life, and think about what things cost. College, how, if you want to start a business. I remember wanting to start a construction business, and I was going to be $50,000 just in trucks and equipment to get off the ground, plus state licensing and all this other stuff.
But when I think about when I went into an MLM business many moons ago, the amount I invested into that and the amount of work it took. And then, of course, you were going to friends and family and all that. That's where you started. And that was the embarrassing part. I remember running around car parks in the middle of the night, putting little stickers on cars so people would contact me. I
I
don't have to
know.
do that anymore. I can sit in my lounge at home. If I'm having a break at work, I can quickly go out, do something. And, this is what I want. Another thing I can say to people, once you've learned the skills, it takes you a, a fraction of the time to do what you're doing in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
You get so much faster and better. It becomes second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're doing stuff at first, it sucks, and it's like this totally new thing. It's just like the first 30 days of anything, except remember, it's not like working out, because you're not even expending much energy, and it's not like you're working out. It's just a brain, It's just you just got to click around on your phone and maybe watch some videos and stuff. I think more than anything, we have to tone and tame our ADHD, our ADD, in our
Oh,
distraction, because the challenge is, can you stay disciplined, at least in the beginning, to sit down and even finish a damn video
yeah.
without clicking back over to wherever the hell else you were wasting time? And can I actually watch something and spend 30 minutes, an hour a day watching something that's good for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching something that's
I
going
think,
to actually move the needle in
yeah.
my life.
The challenge I have is stopping to learn now. In the beginning, it was difficult to actually, you sitting down with the grind, you're learning something new and everything. But now it's so exciting that I'm looking for the next nugget. I'm looking for the next thing, the next thing. It's
Yeah.
difficult to stop. And
I
I have
know.
to sometimes turn around to myself and say, no, you're not doing that now. Leave it alone. Go and
Yeah.
enjoy some time off.
I know. Well, the challenge, the gift and the curse is, and this is how life works, nothing's ever always good or always bad. This thing is a miracle worker. This thing has changed the lives of people in ways that is way far and beyond. I mean, ultimately, if we're going to credit something, if you want to look at the tool, I mean, it's got to be the iPhone, because I mean, now you can basically run your business from your phone.
Yeah.
You can do 80 to 90% of tasks now from your phone. I mean, for the most part. And, you know, uh, you know, there's a lot of life-changing inventions. There's a lot of cool strategies that we use, and a lot of, sales funnels are a great invention and stuff like that. But man, this thing's a gift and a curse. You were saying that it's hard to stop working, because you got ideas going on, you got, and I mean, and nowadays the phone's always there.
Yes.
So the challenge is, and that's where I'm getting to the curse. This thing is a gift in so many ways. And I don't think I'd change it. I don't think I'd turn it back in to go back the way it was,
Mm.
because the curse is that it's so small and convenient. I can carry my work around with me wherever I go. And you literally, in order to get a break, you have to like be disciplined and
Yeah.
intentional about setting your phone down or turning the ringer off. The worst is the ringer and the notifications going off, because as much as you try to go through your phone and turn all the notifications off, Jonathan, you never can, because they always got some slimy ass new update that you got to do to then, all your notifications go back on, and you're like, I thought I just turned everything off. I'm telling you, there's like 1,000 buttons you have to push to actually turn all your notifications off. So the only way to actually, I mean, my phone's been on silence for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, since the first
Yeah, I don't
year
have
or
the ring
two,
on.
because I mean, I already want to pick the phone up enough. I don't need additional notifications going off to make me want to pick it up more. So yeah, I understand. I gotta be intentional about setting, this wonderful gift down, because also, yeah, I need to let my brain, I need to it's not like leaving the pharmacy where you've left the building. Elvis has left the building. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're walking away from a physical thing, and once you take that lab coat off, you're Jonathan.
Yeah.
But man, you carry this thing around. So you got to be a little bit more intentional. You got to grow up. And that's one of the things that I think I realized I had to do. If I wanted to be in business for myself, I couldn't be somebody who, I mean, my thing was back when I was 22, 23, 24 years old, I got clean. I'm working with I want to go into online business. I'm working with my dad on construction sites. I had a lot of growing up to do if I want. And I don't mean that just in the way of how I acted. That meant in terms of my habits, and ultimately being more disciplined. When somebody's not telling you what time you have to be to work, if you want to keep your job, now all of a sudden you have to tell yourself when you're working, when you're not working, so on. So I like to sum it up with saying this: with more freedom comes more responsibility. You want to be more free? Well, you got to be responsible for more stuff. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. Totally. That was my driving force, was freedom. So I don't want something else eating up that freedom.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan, this has been a great chat. We've learned a lot, and I know I have. Jono Suggest is where people can find you, at least on Instagram. And you've also got is that right?
I've got TikTok, which is the O. It's actually Johnny Suggests is on TikTok. So
Okay. All
go
right. We'll
find me
put,
there.
yeah, I'll put that up in the banner right now. Listen, it's been a great chat,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
I
Thanks for
hope
having me,
to,
Dave. And thanks
yeah.
for giving me the opportunity. That's just absolutely awesome.
Hey man, it's my pleasure. I'm so thrilled you've gotten value, and please come back here in a couple of months and keep us posted, brother.
Definitely. You'll see me again.
All right, see you, Jonathan.
Bye bye.
All right, my friends, you can follow Jonathan at tiktok.com/ at John I Suggests. So that's JOHNISUGGESTS. Wow. It's just unbelievable watching person after person uh, really kind of take the ball and run with it. So our hope is that today you make a decision about yourself for your future that makes this a significant day, a significant milestone in your life, in your business journey, and if we can feature on the show, fantastic. If not, if we can help you change your life in a better way by helping you develop skills that you can and run businesses that are easy and simple to kind of get up and running compared to other things, and do it from home, and you determine whether you're essential or non-essential. Don't let somebody else determine that for you. And if you do, I guarantee you'll live a happier life. All right, my friends, get out of here. We'll see you back here for another episode tomorrow.